I'm Diego Montoya, I'm based in Brooklyn, and this is I Made It. So this was a piece for Bob the Drag Queen. It was based on a phoenix look for a performance. The dress itself is kind of a collage with different fabrics to create this sort of gradient from red to orange to yellow to white. And it comes with a pair of phoenix wings that we built, these giant 20-foot long phoenix wings that float behind Bob. They kind of closed in and wrapped around. It was like separate puppets. And I didn't know how to build it at all, but we figured it out. It was carved out of foam first, and then we went to wood. And then we did each feather separately. We were looking at the Angels in America wings that they use in there. That was like the reference that we had to go with. But I also was looking at actual bird skeletons, see how they looked and how they moved. And we built like a prototype, a smaller one out of foam first, just to get the joints right and get all like the proportions correct. And then we went on to carve it out of wood. And then we did a few different trials to see what feathers were best. They're actually PVC pipe with some wire inside of them, and then each feather is cut out of satin face organza that we painted. On the dress, there is just a series of like sequin fabrics, and then we kind of beat it over that and then hand sewed jewels just to sort of make the colors transition. So it's a lot of hand sewing actually. The team was 7 people, including myself, a carpenter, and then we had 5 hand sewers and jewelers. This was like, I mean, we had probably like a solid week and a half of hand sewing. The base and the patterning took a couple days, but it was mostly hand sewing the fabric to make the gradient go from the red to the orange to the yellow to the white. So it took over 100 hours between the whole team, between the 5 hand sewers, patterning, draping, fittings to make this dress happen. Plus the wings themselves took a long time too. Well, the wings we had to figure out. I had no idea how to make them, so just lots of prototypes and trial and error. And then the dress was pretty straightforward. It's a tedious thing, you know? It's just hand sewing for like over a week. The gown rips off to reveal a dance Leo, and it has leg bars that attach to it as well. And they're all hand sewn. So we took a few days to source the right colors just to make sure that it all looked kind of organic. I got it mostly in the garment district in Manhattan. I did add a lot of like pearls and like jewels on top of that just to make it blend more and seem more organic. We made the base first and kind of like sewed all the lines of the dress out, and then we sort of blurred everything with separate fabrics. We actually made a dress for Bob when we actually drew the lines on Bob, all the seam lines, and then went to pattern, cut it up, and then sewed everything. This was the first piece that we made for Bob, and so it was a new pattern, new body to fit. I added more detail than maybe you could see from stage, but I think that's what gives it that texture. So another part about this project was it had to travel and become mobile and, you know, go all around the world. So we had to also figure out the best way to create a sound structure. We had to do a few different tests to see what would be the most, the sturdiest structure, but also could come apart. And also wouldn't be too annoying on the road to assemble and reassemble. I think I could streamline it more now, I think, but it was a quick piece too. It was like a month to figure this whole thing out. So for the wings, with the design, the build, and the time to embellish them, it took about a little under a month, and it cost $9,000. And the dress happened at the same time, but it was kind of a 2.5 week build, and that was $3,000. So altogether, it was $12,000. It felt great to see. I mean, I want to see it live, but it felt great to see the whole thing put together with the lights, and it was beautiful. It was amazing. My name is Diego Montoya, and I made Bob the Drag Queen's Phoenix Fantasy dress. You can see more of my work at my Instagram, at Diego Montoya Studio.